Published 0816 EDT, the 30th of August 2017. Updated 0913 EDT, the 30th of August 2017. Theresa May hit back at the EU's dismissal of Britain's Brexit negotiations today by insisting it was her team coming forward with the ideas. Both Chief Negotiator Michel Barnier and Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker have dismissed Britain's Brexit work as inadequate and ignoring their priorities. But speaking in Japan at the start of a mission aimed at forging post-Brexit trade links, Mrs. May hit back at the senior eurocrats. The talks in Brussels are effectively deadlocked as Britain calls for parallel talks on the divorce deal and future relationship, but the EU says they must be taken one at a time. In an effort to break the impasse, the government published a raft of policy papers in the run-up to the latest round of talks. Theresa May, pictured in Japan with Shinzo Abe today, has hit back at the EU's dismissal of Britain's Brexit negotiations today by insisting it was her team coming forward with the ideas. Speaking in Japan, pictured during a traditional tea ceremony today at the start of a mission aimed at forging post-Brexit trade links, Mrs. May hit back at the senior eurocrats. She told the BBC, "We have been publishing a series of papers over the summer. There will be more papers to come, where we are setting out the key issues that both sides need to address, the options that we have, the ideas we have, of how to deal with those." It's the United Kingdom that has been coming forward with the ideas and with the clarity about the future. Asked if she still believed no deal is better than a bad deal, she said, "Yes, I think that is right. But if you talk about the point at which we leave the European Union, we want to ensure that at that point we do have a deal, and that we have a deal that is the right deal for the UK." Mrs. May dismissed Labour's new support for remaining in the single market and customs union during a transitional period after Brexit as yet another position from them. Mrs. May added, "What I set out in my Lancaster House speech is you can't be a member of the single market without being a member of the European Union, and we are leaving the European Union." Chief Negotiator Michel Barnier, pictured right with David Davis on Monday, and Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker have dismissed Britain's work as inadequate. Denmark's ambassador to the UK Klaus Grube warned against the no-deal rhetoric, telling the BBC, "I think it's better that we go to the negotiating table and we talk about things. I don't think it contributes to making a better atmosphere. I think you have had a long debate. It is now more than a year ago that the referendum took place. It's been a long, let's say, a very British debate, with a lot of wishful thinking about the future and how to get out of the EU, a lot of cake and eat it." Mr. Juncker yesterday said official papers setting out the government's positions were not satisfactory, and it was crystal clear that an enormous amount of issues needed to be settled before talks on a future trade deal could begin. Jean-Claude Juncker yesterday said it was crystal clear that an enormous amount of issues needed to be settled before talks on a future trade deal could begin. Mr. Juncker said the UK hesitates showing all its cards, but added, "I did read, with the requisite attention, all the papers produced by Her Majesty's government. And none of those is actually satisfactory." Mr. Davis and Mr. Barnier met on Monday at the start of the latest round of talks, which highlighted differences between Brussels and Whitehall over the negotiating papers provided by the UK. Mr. Barnier said, "We need UK papers that are clear in order to have constructive negotiations. And the sooner we remove the ambiguity, the sooner we will be in a position to discuss the future relationship and a transitional period."